George Kittle, tight end number 3, 71 receptions, 94 targets, 910 yards, 6 touchdowns, 18.95% of the target share. Thoughts on George Kittle?
But for those of you who do draft him, he is a positional advantage. Like tight end three, that is an advantage. And last year, outside of the 3 games that he was hurt, he served his purpose. He still ended up at tight end three, even missing 3 games. So that advantage is there. It is real. But for my personal draft strategies and kind of how I like to formulate my teams, I'd rather see if Mark Andrews is there, if that's the debate at times that it comes down to. If Andrews isn't there, you know, I'm guessing Kyle Pitts is gone at that point too. So it's Kittle or Waller. And honestly, I'm probably passing. I'm probably going to pick up another running back because I have more confidence in drafting running backs than I do tight ends.
So that's the issue that you run into with George Kittle is that like he is on the outer outer end of those, those tight ends, right? There's the 3 or 4 tight ends that if you're going to take them, you're going to have to take them early, right? And while they do provide that positional advantage, there are other players that you could take at that time, from a different position group, from the running back or wide receiver, with where those guys, with where those guys are going. Here's what I end up, thinking about with George Kittle, and the reason that I struggle to say like, oh, I should take him in just the standard league, right? No tight end premium, no bonus for tight end stuff, whatever. His touchdown numbers last year, while great, right? He had 6 touchdowns. That's still, he was behind 6 other guys. He finished 7th in tight end touchdown scoring, receiving touchdowns.
He also set a career high, though.
That's if that's his ceiling, that's his ceiling, right? And that's 6 touchdowns. And that's the differentiator there is Kittle is going high in terms of where the tight ends are being taken, but he didn't get to 1,000 yards receiving last year. And granted, like Kevin said, he missed the 3 games. I think if he plays in those 3 games, he probably gets to the 1,000 yards. But again, with his receiving numbers and with his touchdowns being what they were, I can understand, passing on George Kittle because at some point it doesn't make sense.
Kittle coming off the board as the tight end number 4, right after Kelsey. Right after Andrews, Kelsey, and Pitts as your 1, 2, 3 tight ends. George Kittle coming off the board at tight end number 4, 38th pick. So that puts him in the 4th round, 402 type of pick there. And I'm going to be out on that one, especially when I can get Dalton Schultz as the tight end 7 and pick 72 overall. So I can get him at the tail end of the 6th over the beginning of the 4th. And guys that I can take around George Kittle there in the 4th. I'm still building my running backs. I'm going to be looking at wide receivers at that point because I probably don't have any. But a guy I mentioned earlier, Travis Etienne's out there, DJ Moore, Michael Pittman Jr., even Elijah Mitchell on the same team. Like, I think there's better options that are going to return better value for you than what George Kittle will do. Now, George Kittle definitely kind of in that tail end of, he's probably kind of that break in between tier 1 tight end, tier 2 tight end type of thing for me.